Good day to you out there. Welcome to the Open Heavens Reflection, written by Pastor E.A. Adeboye of the Redeemed Christian Church of God. My name is Adeni Ajibola. I pastor the Throne of Grace of the Redeemed Christian Church of God in Lagos, Nigeria. Our topic for today, entering multiplication. The Bible passage is from John chapter 6, verse 5 to 13. I read, Then Jesus lifted up his eyes, and seeing a great multitude coming toward him, he said to Philip, Where shall we buy bread that these may eat? But this he said to test him, for he himself knew what he would do. And Philip answered him, 200 denarii worth of bread is not sufficient for them, that every one of them may have a little. And one of his disciples, Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, said to him, There is a lad here who has 5 barley loaves and 2 small fishes. But what are they among so many? Then Jesus said, Make the people sit down. Now there was much grass in the place. So the men sat down, in number about 5,000. And Jesus took the loaves, and when he had given thanks, he distributed them to the disciples, and the disciples to those sitting down, and likewise the fish, and as much as they wanted. So when they were filled, he said to his disciples, Gather up the fragments that remain, so that nothing is lost. Therefore they gathered them up and filled 12 baskets with fragments of 5 barley loaves, which were left over by those who had eaten. Our memory verse is from Colossians chapter 2, verse 7. Rooted and built up in him and established in the faith, as you have been taught, abounding in it with thanksgiving. Our reflections for today. From our devotional last week, we learned that God has the capability to bring something out of nothing. Today we are looking at something much deeper than that. We are looking at how the sovereign God brings multiple blessings out of nothing, or what seems to be inconsequential. Firstly, we need to understand that God is able to use anything to accomplish his purpose. Consequently, we should understand that God does not need any human agent to accomplish his purpose. However, if God has extended that honor and privilege to work with us as instruments in his hands, we need to be careful about our attitude, because God can dispense with anybody and still accomplish his purpose. Returning to the Bible passage we read today, the people needed to be fed after a long sermon, and they had become hungry. The Lord used a little boy's lunch pack to feed about 5,000 men, excluding the women and the children. God can multiply anything that is committed into his hands with thanksgiving. That was what Jesus did. After he had received a few loaves of bread and fishes belonging to the small boy, he made the people sit down, and he gave thanks to his Father. And the bread was distributed, and all the people were fed with several baskets left over. If you want to enjoy a life of abundance, then you must learn how to give thanks. Our action point for today: spend 1 hour thanking God for his mercies you can see in your life and family. Ask God to place God-fearing leaders who will relieve the oppressed and foster progress over your nation. Have a great day of gratitude.